They may or may not go for the line, and they are not. They are going to take Dokkaebi off, which is another good operator for Chaos, so does make some sense. And, well, if they don't want to play it, might as well take it away from your opponents. This is probably where we'll get that Lion ban, but you never know. Chaos could also go for a counter ban instead.
Now, here's the thing. The last time these two teams met was in Week 1, and it was a 6-4 win for back then IDK. Now it's Team Secret, and that was on Oregon.
Yep, so not a true rematch in that sense, but...
They could have played it again, but they opt for Border, and of course Lion is going to get banned. Nothing out of the ordinary. The Dokkaebi being removed, we've seen Red Groove doing quite a bit of damage on the Dokkaebi.
Absolutely.
In the past, even now with the SMG-12 not really being the best of picks, still a lot of damage that can be done with the CZ-75, and Zephyr definitely did show that.
Yeah, we saw some good use of that earlier.
And Clash being banned, there you go, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's coming out from Secret, of course, because, yeah, that will stop Chaos from doing their shield thing on defense. Now, of course, Monty still being on the board means we could see some shield play, potentially from Renewals, especially. Been very strong on that, does a lot of good bullying. Crips, though, bringing it out into this... Ooh.
Oh, boy.
Ooh, so we come off of one shield Finka... Oh, there we go. They were just...
Thank you.
Way to tease us, guys, after that last... They were obviously watching.
The Swedish, they're so funny.
Yeah. With those Swedish fish. That's what it is.
Oh, God. Surströmming. The only person that I would qualify calling an actual Surströmming is Bikini Body, the YouTuber.
I don't know what you just said, but that's...
At least, it's how do you say, rotten fish. Surströmming.
Rotten. Well, we will start in vents, so something that some teams opt to do. We did see that a bit from Latin America as well yesterday. But, of course, it is all up to preference. Vents, technically the weaker site, but a lot of that depends on who you're up against. The lineups, the bans, things like that can factor in quite a bit. We will, of course, see Castle being played for the site. They are also going to have Smoke and Echo, as neither of them banned. Maestro is also available, so we're likely to see him at some point. Snooken actually did stick on the Finka, so that could factor into their play here, especially with pushing in with the Ying, potentially. But at the same time, you don't want to push into too much smoke, because you will take some enhanced damage. Maybe not as much as you used to, but still not something you want to do.
All right, we'll see how Secret set up in this, and they even have batteries set up in jail with the wall pre-opened. So this allows for potential impact tricks, as Lackey might be sitting up very close to them here. He does have the double impacts to use if need be, and there you go. He's going to set up in jail/detention. Makes
sense. This is a very common entry point for attacks on vents. So
Snooken did bring the Finka, though.
Yeah, so we'll see if he uses that to good effect. We did see that happen yesterday in Latin America, and unfortunately he used up all the adrenal boosts before the one where he actually needed it to revive his teammate.
And that's the thing. Now it's 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of time. Beforehand, you had a lot more time to play.
Yeah, you didn't really need to spam him so much before.
Yeah. So
still, though, save one just in case.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. And usually, when you're playing the Finka, you'll be running in the LMG, and there you go. The Pechnek will get run here by Snooken. And of course, you fire 2 rounds and you reload. That's how it goes.
And of course, for those of you who did not see the changes previously, you also have grenades now, because they were taken away from IQ. So,
poor lady.
Well, you know, a lot of
you win some, you lose some.
A lot of thieves in here on the attack side.
Team Rainbow.
We'll see that Renewal's playing a spot that works very well against the top floor. However, they are having to attack for the bottom floor, but it is a little bit safer way to try and peek some of it, potentially, rather than the doorway.
There you go. You see extra bit of damage being done to the top floor as Red Groove is set up by the waiting hall. Now, Leon is by the main lobby, and he does not spot anybody moving in just yet. And there you go. Zosha will chuck her utility in as they immediately push into the bathroom. Red Groove will win out the fight against Leon Gitz. The 2 fragsters of each of the 2 teams, the young players as well on both of them. And there is no push onto the set itself somehow, even though Crips was able to just run in. There you go. Speaking of which, Dizzy with 1, a Lems with a refrag on a Snooken. Meepy will spot the edge of the rifle here for the Zofia. As the burial will give her away, Meepy cannot finish him off. And he'll spray through the wall before retreating back to reinforced walls here in security.
Well, did do a significant amount of damage, managed to live through it, but they are at a man disadvantage.
Meepy will have to rotate back here with his yokai. Unfortunately, it gets picked off, and unfortunately, he's unable to deny the play. plant. Now one from above, and Lackey will get one. Lackey will get two. He finds him. Can he find the third? Lackey, insane plays with a third one. Can he get a fourth? No, he'll go down. It's now a 1v1. Crips is low, and Meepy will save the day. The Fuser taking him. Meepy always wins these.
Certainly does. One of those big clutch players, for sure. He has played a lot of smoke as well, but in this case, he's going to be the Echo.
Well, let's just say, a lot of the work was already done by the castle.
Well, that's for sure, obviously. But hey, you know, you still got to win that fight. You know, a 1v1's a 1v1, especially when he was, both of them, I'd say low in health, obviously, Attacker a little bit lower. But overall, it was interesting to see how quickly Secret rotated back to site. They had everyone on site fairly soon. And that left Chaos in a position where they were fighting against probably more people than they expected to downstairs, and I think that slowed down their push just a little bit. Good attempt in terms of using the Candelas, but ultimately just did not work out in terms of winning those last gunfights. But it did do a good job getting the plant down as well. Just they were not expecting the run-in through that doorway, getting 2 nice kills from that Crips, sneaking out shield and then changing his mind as Meepy pulls out the bandit last second. So you see how Lockers goes for them. Vents so far a success, but certainly not a resounding success, as that was very close to being lost. Lackey with 3 and Crips with 2, but otherwise everyone else not getting too many kills here. They are bringing the Echo and the Maestro this time, along with the smoke. So a lot of ability to do some denial, which is of course very important on the site because it is very exposed to the outside if they get that wall open. Of course, it's not quite the same if they go for a push from the offices into the archives. I mean, yes, there is still openness to the outside. There's the doorway as well as the window onto the AC unit, but it's, I mean, it's a little bit different play style. Meepy looking to see if maybe he can catch any drones here for a spawn, unless he's actually going to go all the way out for a spawn peek. Very unlikely, though.
Should be just a peek on the drones. And yeah, just brace to the side. There's a couple positions. The other one would be near cafeteria, where you can most of the time just peek out and find a drone or two. Yeah. You also see that throughout the entirety of the balcony, either from the cafeteria or from the eastern stairs, where you can find easy drones to pick off.
And that's something you can study in VODs that not everyone does when they do VOD reviews, is actually watch for the highlighted drones to look where they position them. If you do it with consistency, you can absolutely use that information.
And again, we talk about the drone economy, and a lot of times you can ask a lot of pro teams. It's difficult for us to quantify it because we can't see how many drones are available still. But when players see, when they're in a position to push out and they call who has a drone, they can't find it, that's when they really get in a complicated position because you're going to walk in blind. But here secretly is not blinded by his thermite glasses, and he'll be able to open up the wall to walk into offices as he drones himself in and spots all, there you go, he spots the player down on the floor, and that is Leon gets on the Echo. He'll try to peek against him. Leon will set up and will stick to the position in the offices.
Now the nice thing, of course, is he can have a teammate jump on that Echo drone. Doesn't have to use the stun right away, but he can have a teammate watch.
Oh no! Oh no! He goes down!
Oh no!
The foot of Leon will be his demise as the Echo pushed up front will go down. Alem's playing in Fountain, but the wall's opened up from the balcony, and it's a soft wall that has been pre-opened by the bailiff. As you already see, there's only one round left in the revolver. The second side of it has been reinforced, so Alems can at least be secure for a bit because, well, there's only a thermite.
Yeah, unfortunately for Leon, not rotating earlier was ultimately his mistake, but at least Alems is still trying to hold Fountain because that is the next important beachhead. You do see the Bandit of Meepy as well trying to cover his teammate, but Alem's already taking damage. His feet might die as well.
Yeah, and the Thermite had actually moved up and opened up the wall. That's the thing. Very ballsy moves here, but Alems will get one. He'll get two. He'll connect to the headshots and just sprays in. Make sure you use the Eld at a perfect use, and there you go. Red Groove. At least turn it into a 3v3. Chaos, hold up top.
Maybe in a good position, though. This is a predictable position, but one they don't seem to be countering yet, and it absolutely works out. That's Diffuser down.
Yeah, Meepy with a great shot. Red Groove again, though. The refrag on the Zofia. It puts it into a 2v2. Renewals finding the angle on a Meepy, all up to Lackey. As this time, it's the Jaeger to try and clutch it out. They'll rotate back into CCTV, and from there, move into the cafeteria. The break room, he'll spray in. He's down to half health. In the meantime, it's Red Groove to go for the plant. Doable here for the retake, but Lackey has to be very careful. He'll pre-fire by the half wall, but he's low on health right now at 25. He'll get shot. No, Renewals will go down, and now it's Red Groove to try and clutch the round. Unfortunately, his drone is very far away here to give info on the site, and this is the drone economy that comes harking back. Can he find it? Red Groove will just stick it out and stand behind the ventilation. Lackey is going to try to get smart about this and jump out, and unfortunately the Claymore from Crips from the grave. It's Lackey to go down, and there you go. That's what they were waiting for. Pop. And it's unfortunate because you would expect the Claymore there.
Absolutely, but it's, you know, it's time management at that point. You have very few options, and it's just, you know what, I probably can't win this fight if I try and do it any other way. It's just time to risk it at that point. It is unfortunate, though, he didn't think about that and try and at least shoot it on the way out the window. Had he been able to do so and managed to pull it off, still might have lived through it, but definitely would have given it away. And he was, unfortunately, fairly predictable in those rotations. You saw, for example, the Ash just reading into, okay, I took shots at him. He's not going to keep pushing that. He's very likely to rotate back around, so I'll just flip around in this metal detector and watch the other side now, which was absolutely the right call. But it is impressive that Lackey still won that fight, despite being kind of read into. And fortunately for him, too little too late. Had he won the gunfight to begin with against the Ash from the other side first, from CCTV, he might have still had enough time to be able to at least catch the rotate post-plant. But since he wasn't, timing not working out his favor. But so far we've seen these rounds, again, coming down to 2v2s, 2v1s, 1v1s very quickly. So it seems like these two teams, having both, as I mentioned earlier, tied different teams on this map, seeming very well matched up with each other just by how down to the wire every round seems to come. But of course, it's only the first couple rounds, and teams tend to shift a little bit throughout the following rounds, especially once you go into the 4th and 5th round and most of the bomb sites have been played.
And you know, you look at the bans here, but you know, you see how the operators are, the clash being removed. This affects Chaos quite a bit, but it's kind of an overall tie. Border for me, and I guess for all of us, it's kind of one of the most balanced maps that there are out there. So unless bans are heavily skewed to one side or the other, it's always recoverable for one side or the other. Of course, it's a 1-1. It's literally just the start, and things can shift.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, yeah, some of the Intel ops taken off, Mirror and Clash both banned on defense, but also the flip side of that is some of the Intel ops are the ones that really make you stand still, both banned on the attack side with Lion and Dokkaebi. So, you know, some kind of a yin and yang going there in terms of bans from both sides does, again, continue to keep it somewhat equalized between the two. It does mean Glaz is still available, but neither team really thinking that is the wise choice at the moment. Well, they say neither team. We obviously haven't seen the other side playing, and they absolutely could go with it. But I just don't see it being played from the boys on Secret.
Now, Renewal's very smart and efficient here. He comes in instantly with no one to deal with him down on the workshop, and he can very quickly skeleton key the entire floor from the bottom side and have an angle on his opponents that are defending up in the site. He can use that as well to take down any bandit batteries that have been preset. You see the Maestro from Alems is in the same spot as we saw before, in Fountain. He has a half wall that is reinforced, and the other side is completely soft with pre-opened shots with his revolver. And he's going to use that to fire down against his opponents. Now, there you go. Secretly, first one will take down Lackey. Jaeger down, and there you go. The second one. I'll say it one more time. There you go there, partner. That's one more for Secretly.
I feel like he needs to be carrying a Texas Dynamite for that to work, but he's not. At least there goes one of the Echo drones, though. Leon's still struggling, but uses the gun just fine.
Leon Gids isn't so great. I don't know what you're talking about. Meepy will move in here as the diffuser is down on the floor. Meepy crawling closer and closer towards the IQ as he hears the bullets. He'll jump out the Yuna style and he'll find the kill from behind. Now advantage for Team Secret.
The chase there, just the ring around the
They have the diffuser. Oh no, Leon will get one more, but Red Groove is so far away from that diffuser that's being watched right now by the bandit. Lifelines will get used, and that'll give all the info required here for the Zofia as a walk-in, and the bandit will get taken down. Unfortunately for Meepy, can't play the fight against the Sophia.
And there still might be one yokai drone left. We definitely saw one get shot for sure. Not entirely sure if that's going to be the case. But the fact that Leon has been sticking mostly on his gun makes me think that there's a good possibility that he lost both of them. So he's going to be watching angles. They're kind of watching cross for each other. You got Stizzy on one side, Leon on the other, and he's about to walk into this trap.
There we go, cross angle as smoke canisters have been thrown out. And the MP5 of Leon will finish off the round as Red Groove will go down. There you go.
Good attempt, though, from Red Groove. Certainly tried. This was probably one of the more dominant rounds for Secret we've seen so far. As I mentioned, the last two, been a bit more back and forth towards the end. That one, definitely a little bit in their favor. Some of that was Meepy's little sneak around working out for him as well. But we'll see how things go. Back to Vents here again. See if they can pull that off. Now that they've done their duty on the other sites, they do have to go to a different site beside lockers, so Vents makes sense. However, if they win this one, they do have to go to their third bomb site, which, I mean, could be either customs or bathroom tellers. I mean, some of that's region specific to an extent, but at the same time, you know, you could play either. Crips may stick on this Maverick, though, which would be interesting. Now, I got to imagine he knows it's likely to be Vents. So if you're going to be bringing a Maverick to this, you kind of have to have a plan for that. Could be there just to help them open up the top wall in case the bandit's going to ban a battery, just to make it that much quicker so they can get in and get that top floor control as well. Or at least give some flank when they try and go push in from offices, as many teams do. We'll see how he ends up using it. I feel like one of the few players in EU that we see use Maverick quite a bit is Panics, and haven't seen a ton of that here so far from Crips. So we'll see how that works out for them.
Yeah, and here Lackey will redo the same thing that we saw before. They'll be reinforcing in detention.
That makes more sense where you use that. That was where they were struggling to get into a little bit before, more so than the upstairs.
Yeah, and at least here Secret will have more information on how things go. Of course, if it's Maverick, you can't counter him with a mute, a bandit, impact charge, whatever. You need to shoot him long.
I mean, if he's careless, you could bump up against the electrified wall a little bit, I suppose, and take a little bit of damage, but we'll see what ends up happening. I mean, still cameras to be set up by Lackey so late into the setup here. Definitely seems, but the upside is most people aren't on their drones right then, so you do hide those potentially a little bit better, assuming you didn't need to do those by throwing them outside.
Alrighty then, Stizzy will be left on the site, as I guess there's at least 3 players that are going to try to play from the top floor. Not sure if anybody's going to play around the customs area. Well,
they rotated back down very quickly last time, and they may do the same thing this time, but maybe they're thinking that Chaos, having focused so much on the downstairs last time, are likely to focus more on the upstairs this time, and use that information to their advantage by defending it much stronger.
Alright, Red Groove will walk in, an easy spot on the...
located a bomb.
I like the placement of that Claymore just because you can jump across on one side, but not the other.
Shotgun's being used by Stizzy here to remodel the site, but won't be able to find anybody above him, but he'll find the shots connect here from the Maverick, as Maverick just jumped into the site. Where is the usual castle? Not in the bathroom here. In the stock as Renewals to spray in and will get the kill. There you go. Leon's down on the floor. 5v3. And it's Secret to have to struggle here against the 5 players of Chaos with no damage done to these champions of Chaos. Snookin will fall back. Won't exchange any damage with the Jaeger.
Those fights in office seem to be a lot about these pillars blocking the angles from them, and that was close. Either team or either member that could have landed the shot on the head for sure. Just a little bit of cautious play coming out, especially from Secret as they're down players. So far, looking like a potential flawless round coming out from Chaos. Just sheer control in their side of pretty much every part of the map that they need to. This is where it gets tricky, though, is the holes downwards and the fact that Lackey has not backed off yet.
MVP and the squad holding off their angles. Scripps in the meantime just setting back, and he's running the M4 there. Lem's still watching. He doesn't find anybody just yet, but they're trying to establish some sort of cross angle from above, and the Maverick will be spotted, unfortunately. Unfortunate there for Team Secret. He will move away just in time, and there you go. Crips instantly looks up and gets the shot onto a Lems. Meepy with one, Lackey with the other. Crips is ready, though, with another frag here. The M4 connecting in secretly. Catches Meepy off on the rotation through the hatch. That'll be one more for Chaos.
Well, certainly not a flawless round. Definitely a much stronger round than we've seen from them so far. And even a stronger round than we saw from Secret last time. Vents just not working out so great. They can go to it again. very likely to go to it again and try it one more time. But it is possible if they have a good customs defense, it would be worth considering switching it up right now, just because it's getting a little bit more predictable in terms of how you're playing it. They are going to bring Maverick on that, Crips bring Maverick again, assuming he doesn't 6th pick off of it, as he is the only one who has not confirmed. Nope, he's going to confirm. So similar strategy. Now, they did get control very quickly, as you mentioned, the Maverick getting in that bathroom very quickly. He also won a lot of fights upwards, managed to dodge a lot of bullets downwards, and that was really a big part of why they were successful in terms of just the shots from Secret not landing. You saw even the fight in Office. Obviously, neither of them landed it, but it's just the shots don't seem to be working out in Secret's favor in at least that fight, and could go the same way this time. They're going to have to set themselves up in better positions, or at least positions where they're less likely to miss some of those. They have Meepy actually taking over the Echo this time, and Leon's going to switch over to the Valkyrie. So they are shaking up their lineup a little bit at least.
Leon on the Valkyrie this time around, as we saw his Echo doesn't always work out. We'll see how the setup will be done here by Team Secret. I think they failed the last time by not having anybody hold off in the bathroom. It's just they gave Chaos a completely free position to stay in. It just ended up failing because of it. And, well, you know, they put so much effort on defending from the top floor, but yeah, you can't always rely on that. And having somebody in bathroom when there's only one on site, just it probably is a better idea. Yeah. But secretly, it just starts off with 2 kills from the hatch and CCTV. Why not? Alrighty then.
And that's why you good idea to open the hatch. If you can take CCTV control that quickly.
He's close to a 3rd even. Alem's here. Oh no, the 1-tap from Alems. Oh baby, secretly will go down, and Alems will drop the diffuser there, but
he's looking for someone to try and pick it up as well. He's baiting the diffuser at this point. Fortunately for him, Crips is going to catch that, but now he can just change position, but failed to kill the drone.
At what cost? The Thermite is lost. A bit of damage here done to Alems as well, but they lose the Echo and the castle. C4 is going to get targeted here from Leon, but won't chuck it up just yet. There you go. Being thrown up, but won't connect with anyone. Leon holding the tiny angle here as he'll fall back, weary of any opponents from the top floor. It's Alems, though, to find yet another one on a Snookin, as he just keeps walking around and shutting down his opponents in the central stairs. Alems with a beautiful flick. Crips will go down, but it's Red Groove to refrag. 2-2, 2-2. Leon still on the servers. Red Groove now walking back into the main hallway, as Renaults will have to fall back and help out his teammate. They do have the diffuser in hand, which is the positive, as they have where they were able to recover it off of their dead teammate's body, but they have to watch for Leon and the smoke and bathroom.
Yeah, this has become an entire horizontal attack this time. They have the ability to open up floor, assuming they didn't use all their utility to be able to fight some downward angles, but not wanting to do so. Leon at least low health, though, so if they can pick him off, they have a lot of firepower to put on Stizzy, but at least for his sake, he has a castle barricade. Red Groove, or like I said, if they didn't use their utility, they could also open that up as well, so some good options for the attackers potentially.
The thing is, that castle barricade can work against Team Secret.
And they did use up all their utility that would take it out, so.
So Renaults will have to possibly walk into site here. Is afraid of potential positioning from the smoke. They know the Valkyrie's still alive somewhere, but not sure where she is. She's right behind the workshop table. Is Stizzy trying to find the angle here? The flash will get thrown in, will not connect. The Ash will go down. That's now a 10-second timer here, as Red Groove will walk into the site and get impacted himself. Stizzy with a shotgun in hand. He should be able to win this, and there you go. Red Groove will go down to the shotgun. Stizzy saving the round here for Team Secret. That put an extra round on the board. 3-2 advantage for Team Secret, but now we switch sides, and Secret will start off on the attack.
Once again, a round that went down to the wire. It seems like these two teams can't seem to find a huge edge, outside of Secret especially getting a nice one at that second to last round there. So far, though, I mean, that favors Secret in the sense that they've been able to find more advantage so far than we've seen come out. I'm sorry, Chaos has found more edge than Secret. So it's not looking great for Team Secret to come out ahead on this, but they do manage to do one extra point here on their defense. We'll see how effective their attacks are, though. If they can, if this comes down to the wire again, or if one team will finally sweep into some dominance. Renewals actually is going to bring the Tachanka, inspired by Goga earlier. See if that works out for them. As we go to lockers first instead of vents. So far, of course, we have not seen any.
Oh no! Oh no! Ugh. All hail the Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, please, can we get a few praises in chat, a few smiles for the Lord himself?
He's just being played for Halloween, right? Everyone's just dressing up.
Actually, was there a... I didn't check this. Was there a Tachanka? What is that? Am I from, like, Texas or something? Was there a Tachanka skin for Halloween?
I'm not sure. As obviously, we are working now.
Can someone please confirm and or deny that? Tweet at us, please. Thank you very much.
Can we get it in chat?
No, because we're not seeing chat, because we're professionals, Stefan.
We'll see if Renewals is professional, but Crypt,
no, what are you?
Unfortunately, the lack of professionalism from Secret, or Secretly, sorry.
What? What are you doing, my man?
Little body just lying there amongst his papers.
They'll use it as bait.
Yeah.
It's literally a paper trail.
It looks decorative now.
It's a paper trail.
Oh my goodness. Oh, thank God this is the last day. We'll see how this goes, though. This is definitely... No one's really found each other yet outside of the team kill. So I'm not sure if the drones have found the Tachanka yet. If not, there could be a little bit of surprise. One thing that can work against him is the firebolts. If you manage to get an angle, you can, of course, burn him off of the turret without trying to contest it directly.
And that's why for a lot of teams, they don't bring that.
Is that why? So much cap tile play?
Yes.
I like has the deployable shield as well to cover his knees. And, of course, the shield on his face. He's going for the hip fire shots just to tease them, though, rather than going ADS.
Now, Leon has taken quite a bit of damage here on the cross, so he's got to be careful. But the fact of the matter is, the Tachanka is set so far away that it's very difficult to find him and deal with him.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't just directly on site, so they have contested him in a different way. It looks like they're actually struggling to find an angle on him. Now, again, he has the capped out bolts to be able to do some work, and Tachanka has been down. So he could try and burn this out, but he just didn't have the intel, and the drone there a little bit late to catch that.
Renewals is on the floor, and I don't know. There you go. They should be able to pick him up. I guess his... no, it's still alive. Okay, they can still use the LMG, but it's Meepy to walk in. And the fun times secretly will go down. Meepy is just walking close here as Red Groove will get one more on Lem's 3v4 advantage still for Team Secret. As Leon is on half health, Snooken will go down to Leon. No, Reynolds is still alive, and not sure if he was running a C4 charge there, but flashes will get thrown into Red Groove as he plays into the desk area of the armory. Sis in the meantime will go for the plant. They spray all through the wall. Leon to get one more, and one more for Leon. He racks them all up, and there you go. Chaos all down. Secret on the cusp of victory.
Leon just a little mad about struggling in some of those defensive rounds, I guess, taking on his anger on Port Tachanka. Unfortunately, that turret not as effective as Goga's, in that at least Goga was able to do some damage. But either way, still a interesting attempt. I mean, that wasn't a terrible idea what he was doing. It wasn't a situation where he was putting himself in total harm's way. He didn't manage to win the fights he was trying to, but at least he had the shields, right? He had the one on his face. He had the deployable shield to cover his lower half. He was in a position where they were very likely to enter that door at some point. However, only the most reckless of teams enter that door without droning it first, and very likely to see that hole and be like, wait a minute, what's on the other side of the hole? Oh, I see.
And then I'm dead.
Yeah. So we'll see probably no 6 picks over to the Tachanka coming out this round, as they are going to, nope, definitely not, as they're going to go to lockers again. Try it one more time. So far, they are, 0 for 1 on this defense. But to be fair, lockers was also lost once by Team Secret. So they are going to go with no echo, just the Maestro.
You know, one thing that they say, if Leon is so great, why is there no Leon 2? Just a random thought.
I don't understand.
Because, there is a G2. So they are great, right?
You may want to write this one down.
Have fun.
Advantage to Team Secret now 4-2.
We'll see where Renewals sets up his second Evil Eye. There you go. It'll be right in the middle of the office. So before he was playing inside of or we saw the plays from Team Secret being set around the Maestro in the fountain. You had a half reinforced wall. There's a lot of work that can be done in that position. You have to be very confident with what you can do, and Secretly here is going to have to worry a lot about any plays with Zophius from below.
Yeah, definitely very likely to happen at some point. He's definitely ready for it. But you have to be quick on the draw because, of course, you're watching a tight, small angle. And there's a chance that if they drone and see that hole upwards, they may actually try and find an angle on you. Usually, though, in situations where there's a lip in the doorway or anything like that, you are going to have the advantage as the defender from above because you will see their feet and legs before they see you due to the lip blocking the angle and the fact that your camera is, well, mostly on your head, and a little more so in your neck, but still, it is an angle you can work your advantage to, which he's going to try to do. But like you said, there's the Buck as well as the Zofia that could make very short work of that. Also, the Thatcher could bait it out, right? Because you have the Thatcher go and clear those batteries, which forces him to focus on bandit tricking, and then he's not able to look downwards. So some good teamwork, coordination, and droning could make very short work of Secretly.
All right, Lem's trying to find the Crips in there as he'll walk in, destroy any utility that has been preset just by chucking in an EMP. Leon is not going to impact the wall to walk in, and they should be able to drone him. There you go. Grenade's going to get what?
Unfortunately, didn't do a whole lot there.
That was thrown right into him. Crips, there you go. He finally eats the damage, but the first one did nothing to him, oddly enough. Meepy is still on the opposite end here by the bathroom as Crips is just sitting back, I guess. He's at least wasting time. And look at that. Yeah. That's so much being taken away. He's
pretty much done his job. He could die at this point and has succeeded, I would say, in making sure this is much harder. Because, of course, you want to get below, right? Because you want to take out those batteries. And the ability to sit here and just burn time. Not to mention, at some point, they're going to have to give up on you if they can't get the kill on you, which leaves you free to rotate back to site for a late retake. So, well done by Crips.
All right, Leon will rotate around here. Again, they have not dealt with Crips. They'll try to deal with maybe some utility upstairs. As, Thermite charge will get used, and they will open up the wall. There you go. At least that's something. Will they catch the Jaeger off on the rotation? There you go. Finally, Crips has been taken down. What a thorn in the side. Look at the amount of time left. Renewals will get one on the Lems. But it's 28 seconds on the clock here, Devin. 4-2 in round total, but Renewals will find yet again another headshot. He's going to get pushed away by the Capitao, but he finds the angle and gets the kill. He's tagged very low and even down on the floor here, but that's more than enough damage with 13 seconds on the clock. Meepy will rotate in. A quick peek from Red Groove will finish him off. There's still one more. Leon will try to walk in. Information given, and Red Groove will get 2 in a row. Chaos might be down, but they're not out.
Definitely well played by them, especially, of course, Crips doing so much work downstairs by not doing any work. Just sitting in his position, avoiding those grenades. Unfortunately, that first grenade not making its mark definitely did not help on that attack. But either way, well played. And now this brings it a little bit closer. Of course, still advantage to a Secret. They are at the 4-3 of Chaos. Vent's going to be tried now, as they have succeeded on lockers, so no need to play that anymore. It would be interesting to see them win Vents, though, so we could see a third bomb site come out, as we didn't have to see that from Secret. Similar attack lineup here coming out, as well as a mostly similar defensive lineup. We saw a lot of good work from that Maestro last time in terms of holding that half wall. I mean, it was unfortunate for him. He pretty much just had to stand in the fire and get barbecued. But hey, at least he did some good work denying them first.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they
We'll see how this round will get played as Chaos will go for here. Now, the big problem before, we mentioned it when Secret playing Workshop, is that there was nobody staying in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Will that be the change here? I really hope so. I really think if you don't have anybody watching that side, you basically just give out most of the site, because you can watch a lot from bathroom, and it's a very easy impact to just destroy the side.
Yep. We'll see if they pull that off. I mean, there's likely to be at least a couple people upstairs to start out with, but it is down to how prepared they are to rotate and whether or not we see an attack upstairs or downstairs from Secret. I mean, that's the thing is, with this bomb site, if you've done your drone work well, you can make the right decision, and if you make the right decision, have a good IGL, and execute it on it very quickly, you can take advantage of things like the bathroom being exposed, or the fact that they have so many people upstairs and not near hatches to rotate back, or if you can get over to where the hatch is before they rotate back, you can catch them mid-drop, get a kill, things like that. So like I said, it's down to good intel work from the attackers, making sure they, of course, keep all those initial drones in place, and then enter in them with them in a smart way that they're not likely to lose them before they collect the information.
Oh, that's what I like.
Yeah.
So someone upstairs is on their drone, on their camera, excuse me. So the IQ can easily spot them. The instant you have your phone out, then that can be seen by the electronics detector. And Stizzy uses a thermite charge to destroy the castle barricade here to try to walk into the main hallway. At this point, it's Stizzy actually to get the kill on Secretly. So that's a big elimination. The castle taken away. It's one player off. It's not the biggest operator to lose, but still, the Capitao Lackey might not be downstairs to support the attack, but all he needs to do is cut off rotations and use his crossbow bolts downstairs if need be.
Yep. Leon's going to rotate in the meantime, though, to put pressure on these defenders upstairs, which is probably the right call. He's got to be careful of this hole, though, because they're going to be watching it. There we go. Nice burnout.
He can't get the second one, unfortunately. That's Meepy to take down Snookin. And the script last alive. He sprays into the eastern stairs, but can't find anybody there. It goes for the reload. Diffuser is going to get planted in the meantime downstairs. The scripts will try to rotate down. And the hatch, I believe, here is open as well. No, it is closed. Okay, and there's only barbed wire in hand, so might as well pick that up as Scripps. Oh my god. He finds the angle. Leon will go down. 1v3. He'll drop right into...
Whoa.
God.
Well played.
The Claymore being destroyed. Now moving in from the passport check. There's one hole to rotate into as the Lems will go down. No more Thatcher. Crips, though, is low on health. And Stizzy will finish him off on the Thermite. A 5.56 to win it out, holding the long angle here. And there you go. Through the wall. Connects.
Gotta say, Secret have been looking a lot better on attack than they did on defense, but Crips is still putting up a really good fight either way. Definitely well played by him, and unfortunately, there was just so many people left to find, and that's because of Secret's dominance here on this attack. I mean, yeah, they lost one of the Lockers' attacks just due to some good play by a couple of the players, but it's not looking great for Chaos to be able to close this out as we sit on that match point. Now, of course, again, this doesn't mean that Secret can go to Rio off this win.
It's all done.
But this, again, this is the grudge match. This is to assert final dominance over the team. And now I know they're not salty about it anymore.
Yeah, it's been a while.
They're not salty about the split up. I mean, they did get the butt end of it, but at the same time, they've earned their way back and earned many fans along the way. Ended up somewhat better for it, and I don't think it's a big deal, but it is still nice to see them kind of be like, giving it to the guys that managed to take their spot. And I don't imagine there was, a ton of spite in doing so. It was just, well, obviously you want to stay in Pro League, right?
Yeah, and of course both teams will remain in Pro League. This match will not change any of that.
And of course, as we go into the final round, just to remind you one more time, there will be the seeding show after this.
Yes.
So, when this finishes, and if you're interested or not in the interview, do not tune out, because we will be back after the interview and the closeout of the show for the seeding show. So I just want to remind you now, because of course the action will get crazy, and you might decide, oh, the match is over.
And we'll remind you that seeding show is where we decide how the bracket's going to look like.
Very important.
For Rio. So you want the inside information, that's the place to go to.
Absolutely. Nothing more fun than watching that in progress.
Yeah, of course.
Especially when you're like, no, not EG Penta, or EG2 this time.
Well, both can't happen. They can't happen in quarters.
That's a good point.
They're seed 1.
That's right, because that was the situation where Rogue knocked them out. Good point. That was a rarity of a Rogue managing to take the spot instead. So,
whoa.
Hey,
Actually, here's the thing. In this entire season, EU has only had one game that ended in a 6-0.
The one we just watched?
Yes. One game. G2 Supremacy.
That's interesting.
Whereas NA has had more of those.
Yeah, well, some of those were forfeits and other things as well. 2 of them were forfeits against Cloud9.
Well.
Or from Cloud9, how do you want to phrase it? Yeah, was not great for Cloud9, who, despite, was that 4 6-0s, I think, this season, still managing to avoid relegation. So good on them. Thanks to good old Mark the Shark. Although, as we get into this round, Vigil is spotted, so Radul's going to have to reposition and reactivate his magic powers. As a Lackey looking for that.
Oh!
There it is.
Red Groove, sit down,
position, buddy.
What is that spot? He pre-fires the position, and Red Groove the player on Chaos that has had such a huge impact will be impacted out of this entire game. My God, what a shot.
Not great to be in that position.
Oh no, maybe right now just looking down, taking down the computer, as I'm pretty sure that PC cannot run Siege. And
oh no, that wasn't Renewals that died. What am I saying? That was actually Red Groove, yeah. Wow, all right.
Secretly is playing from downstairs, actually. He is obviously on the site in the workshops. There's nobody to contest him in the bathroom. This similar thing that we saw before, but here's the big difference. Wall's completely reinforced. They don't even want to deal with this bathroom here.
Yeah, definitely not a little hole there. He's going to have to potentially blow the walls to set that up. Or just, you know, set up a kind of bunker there in the bathroom itself, potentially trap himself in there. But it is 5-4, still a huge advantage here for Secret, and Renewals is at least at low health, and they know where he's at because he's been droned out multiple times, not to mention shooting at those drones.
Oh no. Leon, if he only knew. Stizzy, though, in the meantime, gets one on a Secretly. He'll eliminate the smoke. They're crawling on their bellies as Renewals will go down, and 2 alive, Snooken and Crips. Make that only Crips, as, well, Snooken, as right now you can't really pick him up. He'll go in, he'll get taken down. Leon gets with the finisher, and there you go. Very quickly here, Team Secret will dispatch Chaos in the grudge game and very handily defeat them.
Yeah. It was looking a lot rockier, I gotta say, though, on the initial defense from Secret. So that was definitely a not their best plays in terms of defenses. I mean, it also means good attacks from Chaos as well, good adaptations and things like that. But at the end of the day, once Secret got on attack, it was 3 rounds of success to 1 round of failure. So overall, very good play by Secret, and that's why they come away with the win. Again, doesn't send them anywhere, doesn't change their positioning too much other than bumping them up 1 spot, which is nice.
It actually, yeah, indeed. It bumps them up 1 spot. They're now at a total 24 points.
To be fair, there are things that can be affected by your position in terms of, like, let's say, contract negotiations with organizations and things like that that can be influenced by where you stand at the end of the season. So
I think Secret are in a good spot. Millennium, however, are not, because they actually don't have an organization.
I got to imagine they're already well into working on that, and that probably was not a huge surprise to them that coming up. They very likely knew ahead of time.
Hopefully. Yeah. Hopefully for them, of course. We had that information coming out just a few days ago, which is a shock and a surprise for all of us. Again, Millennium do not have an org, or will not have an org by the end of 2018, early 2019, which means that for Season 9, we might see them under a completely different banner.
It's entirely possible that they managed to change up before then as well, so we could see them going into, say, a DreamHack, or, of course, that Invitational, potentially with a different org.
Indeed.
So we'll see.
Okay, well, we'll remind you of the standings so far without showing the graphics. We'll show that later. G2 are top with 35 points. Mocket at 25. Of course, both teams qualify to Rio. Team Secret at position 3 now with 24 points, and right after them is Millennium with 22. And that's the standings of the top 4 in EU after a pretty gruesome fight day. Millennium playing very well against Mocket, but Mocket is just able to stay 1 step ahead of them. Thing is here now, Secret Chaos, ultimately the game did not matter.
Yeah. I mean, but
there were still.
But again, they at least changed positions. Secret did manage to go up 1, and I don't know. I feel like that still matters. Just maybe not in the sense of, yeah, you get to go here or you get to do this. Now, still good for a team that really worked their way back up from Challenger League before the season. They're technically new to Pro League this season, at least as a team as a whole.
It's a great season, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, ending up in 3rd is absolutely great.
You end up in 3rd, you go to semifinals.
And you're only 1 point below Mocket.
Yeah, and you go to semifinals of the major, and you win DreamHack. That's pretty darn good. But before we end the day, and of course, before we go to our draw to see who plays who in Rio, we have to go through an interview. So, Meepy's on the line. Evening, Matthew. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're pretty good. It's the end of the day. Your game crowns the great season that we've had here in Pro League in general, and especially in our European region. Again, that game did not really matter much for you guys, as it was all decided by Millennium Mocket. Now, I want to start it with a bit of sportsmanship. So anything you'd like to say to your potential opponents in this very tight 3-way fight throughout the entire season as we come to the conclusion of it?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of people were naysaying Mocket and things like that, and then they made the roster changes and everything was on the up and up for them. So I think what was the deciding point in this sort of three-way Wild Western style draw was that draw they managed to actually pull versus G2, I think, on the day. G2 a little bit shaky and Mocket played quite well as on top of that. So that gave them the 1 point, which sort of put them that tiny step above us in terms of the points and what have you, and that gave them the edge in this three-way tie, so to speak.
Yeah, it was pretty tight all along, and going through the second half, especially after the Paris Major, was pretty exciting to see how things shaped up between you. Again, for me, and I will keep repeating it until the day I die, Season 8's best online game has definitely been Secret versus Mocket on Consulate, and that was a game of the century. Unfortunately, we didn't get to talk back then, and Kix and I were like, hey, can we just get everybody on board on a call just so we can talk about it, because it was that good. But here you play against Chaos. This is an old rivalry that I guess at this point it's kind of been passed after quite a few months. Yeah. You know, you go into Border. It's a map you're not at the top, you're best at, but you're still able to play against them. And honestly, I see a lot of player skill that it came down to here, because there were still some mistakes being done here and there.
Yeah, there was some odd moments from our side. We wasted a little bit too long on the Jaeger downstairs, and then following up on that round, there was a bit of miscommunication with how we're supposed to be using the fire bolts and what have you. A little bit too much of aggressive peeking before those fire bolts came out, and there's a couple of odds and sods in other rounds too, but those are the ones that really jump out as me as the biggest mistakes. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to Border, a lot of the tactics and the just general map layout and the way you set up the map, it's been done a million times before. It's one of the most played maps in Siege right now. We're still waiting for the next big thing to come on Border. Like, the previous thing was, oh my god, everyone's putting a mirror window inside of CCTV facing the long hallway. Mm-hmm. And now that's dead. No one's done that in a long time. Instead, you just double reinforce the wall, or you don't even do it at all. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows how to beat it. We're just waiting for the next thing to revitalize the map.
Well, we'll see. Maybe there's some changes in the horizon, as, of course, maps are taken out of rotation and exchanged, being buffed, changed every now and then. You know, at the end of the day, you guys take the victory. You bump up to third place. Hey, it's a pretty darn good start for the first Pro League season, technically. In top here, you win DreamHack, you qualify for the Major, you make it up to semifinals in the Paris Major, and now you end up third in Pro League in a tight race to potentially make it to Rio. It's a pretty darn good season for Team Secret, and I have to say, a darn good pickup by the organization. Anything you'd like to say to the fans and everybody out there? That I know there's a ton of Team Secret fans watching right now.
I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I'll say it a million times afterwards. I, hand on heart, believe that we have some of the best and most loyal and dedicated fans in Rainbow6, maybe even in esports, but that's a bit of a stretch to say, because Siege is only a few years out there. You've got longer esports, but still, honest to God, the fans are incredible, and I absolutely love them, and the rest of my teammates love them. Other teams, they love their own fans, and in general, all of the pro players want to say a big thank you. The fans make this a lot more wholesome than it would be without them.
For sure, it definitely wouldn't be the same without everybody watching at home, and to say the least, if people are watching right now and they have never attended a Siege event ever, that's the thing that they should probably change as soon as possible.
Oh, definitely.
All right. Well, very wholesome evening with you, Meepy. Thank you again. Thank you again. Congratulations on your matchup and your victory and your third place. Maybe next season, or maybe qualification to 6 Invitational. Who knows?
Who knows?
All right. Good evening. Good night.
Have a good night.
Well, it's my understanding that if they were not able to get to Rio today, that they will be very likely attending DreamHack Sweden for trying to get a chance to qualify for the Invitational. So, very likely to see them there.
To look forward to.
Yeah, and it's something, as you mentioned, they have won in DreamHack before. So, that should be very exciting from them. I imagine a lot of other teams will be going as well, especially from the European region. So, we have definitely not seen the last of them even prior to Season 9.
Well, you know what we're going to see the last of? The standings for this season. Ladies and gentlemen, G2 up on top. with 35 points. 25 for Mocket, as both teams will represent the European region at the Rio Season 8 Grand Final. If you are not attending the event, make sure you correct that mistake ASAP. Team Secret at a 3rd place. Millennium with 22, 4th. Pentasports at 19 points. Number 5, Chaos, saving themselves with 13 points in the 6th spot on the board. And unfortunately, we head down to relegation positions as Team Vitality will have to fight for their spot against one of the 4 Challenger League teams. Train Hard, ENCE, Empire, and End Gaming will compete to see who fights against Vitality for that position. The lonely 5 points is Team Supremacy, automatically relegated and will go down to Challenger League. The winner of the Challenger League playoffs in just a week to 10 days time, well, they get that spot immediately.
Well, either way, though, there definitely is a lot of strong teams down there. So whoever ends up on top will replace them. And I mean, as much as Supremacy is a fantastic team, the teams down there that are likely to take their spot, very strong, and maybe won't end up in that 8th place spot next season.
All right, we're not done just yet, though, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let us power you down as well. We still have one more part of the show to go, and we need to know who faces whom at the Rio Grand Final. So the draw show will commence in 5 minutes. We'll see you after a short break.